Referee Mike, 5.
Is it?
B.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't see that far. You still go ahead. Talk some more.
Referee Mike, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. We're good.
Okay.
This is the Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals.
Week 6 brings us up to Peters Mountain to Halifax High School for a Mid-Penn Capital Division matchup between the 3-2 Camp Hill Lions and the 0-5 Halifax Wildcats. It's the Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Hi everybody, great to see you. I'm Phil Shannon alongside Chris Thompson tonight. And Chris, we were looking forward to seeing one of the better quarterbacks in the state in Drew Brandstetter, but he is injured, hurt himself last week in the loss to Judiana. So Camp Hill, they're going to go with a sophomore quarterback, but they're still going to try to get their playmakers the ball, and they have a big target to get to in Alex Long.
Absolutely, 6'3" size target. You know, he can hurt you with his legs. You know, 20 receptions, almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. Last year, he had over 1,000 yards receiving and 11 touchdowns.
For Halifax, their quarterback, if the Wildcats want to get their first win, Tegan Carroll's going to have to play great tonight.
Yeah, he's a young quarterback, junior quarterback. He's definitely does some more things with his legs than he does with his arm. Over 267 yards passing, you know, with 2 touchdowns and almost 300 yards rushing.
Keys to the game brought to you by Meineke Car Care Centers. We'll start with Camp Hill.
Control line of scrimmage. That's big in any game, and obviously force turnovers.
For Halifax,
got to tackle well. That's a big part of the game, and don't give up the big play to Alex Long and others.
Camp Hill needs a win to have a chance at winning the Capital Division. Halifax would love to get their first win on homecoming. It's a battle of cats, the Lions and the Wildcats. Coming up next on Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics, Friday Night Rivals. Kickoff is coming up on MyTV Central PA. Week 6 of Friday Night Rivals. Tonight it's Camp Hill and Halifax. We are in the Mid-Penn Capital. Lime Mountain leads the Mid-Penn Capital at 4-0 in conference play. Then a bunch of teams behind them with Judiana, James Buchanan, and Camp Hill and Steel High, all behind Lime Mountain with 1 loss in the Mid-Penn Capital. We are underway. The opening kickoff presented by the Good Feet Store, and the ball is fumbled by Camp Hill and then recovered at the 34-yard line, and that's where the Camp Hill offense will start things out. We'll meet the offense, brought to you by the Focal Point Remodeling starting lineups. Of course, the big story for Camp Hill, their star quarterback, Drew Brandstetter, which we talked about, is out. So what a start tonight. The sophomore, Colby Luther, will get the start, similar to last week when Cumberland Valley started a young player in his first start. So we'll see what Luther can do, but a lot of weapons to throw to. Long and Doy and Grove and Miller. And that offensive line, they are pretty good. They are 4 seniors and 1 sophomore, so the offensive line is one of Camp Hill's better ones that they've had. So first play, they hand the football off to Sadar, and Sadar gets across the 40 and knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And we'll take a look at the Halifax defense, your Focal Point Remodeling starting lineups. The Halifax defense has allowed 211 points, 42 points per game, but they've got some decent play from the linebackers, Carroll, Rank, and Miller. And also their linemen up front, Long and Paul, have been outstanding. And Hoover has made 26 tackles from the defensive end spot. So after that 12-yard pickup, it's a 1st and 10 for Camp Hill. The pitch, well blocked and into Halifax territory all the way to the 40-yard line. So a pickup of 20 yards on that run. Carroll made the stop, and that was a carry by M.R. Scaringi, who last year was on the offensive line, Chris. He was the guard, and now he's the fullback. Picks up 20 yards in that play.
Yeah, well, you've seen Camp Hill back-to-back plays, you know, keeping it a little simple for Luther and outside, both outside tackle runs.
So a 20-yard pickup and a 1st and 10. Camp Hill gets a 1-800-you-got-junk first down, and they hand off to Scaringi again. 5'10", 200-pound junior came into this game averaging just about 5.6 yards a carry. Not bad. 173 yards on 31 carries. We're going to see a lot of him without, of course, as you said, with a sophomore quarterback, they're going to make it simple for him.
Yep, have to. You know, it's probably, you know, might be his first start. I think you might have mentioned that. You know, so you have to do those things when you've got a young 10th grade sophomore quarterback playing varsity Friday night football.
Here's his first pass attempt and gets it off quick, and it's intercepted. It is picked off, and the ball is then stripped, and Luther falls on the football, so Camp Hill will have it back. So how about that? Medill made the interception, the sophomore, but then got it stripped away, and Luther fell on the football, so Camp Hill will have it back at the 38. What a turn of events.
Wow, that's not really the way you draw it up, but I'll tell you, what a great play.
Doy knocked it out, number 8.
Yep, and then Luther recovering it, and Camp Hill gets to start all over again.
Now, you're an old quarterback. Did you ever recover one of your interceptions, a play like that?
No, I can't say I have.
Chris, a quarterback at Manheim Central and also Bloomsburg University. You've thrown a couple of interceptions, but never got one back in that fashion.
Yeah, not like that, nope.
So it's 1st and 10 for Camp Hill after the turnover and then a return over. And that is M.A. with the run. Scaringi with the carry. We're going to see a lot of him tonight, the fullback. And
absolutely.
Camp Hill is really a run, or actually a pass-first team. They don't really, Coach Bigelow loves to pass the football. Of course, when you have a quarterback like Drew Brandstetter, with the unbelievable season he had last year, he had over 3,000 yards passing. He had nearly 400 yards rushing, threw 38 touchdowns a year ago. They upset Trinity, won the district title, got all the way to the quarterfinals in the state tournament, and lost to Dunmore. They were the story of the year last year. Good job by Halifax to stack up the running back at the 49-yard line, and not much there at all for Serdar, and Bechtel made the stop. His 18th tackle of the season for this Wildcat defense.
I would imagine we're going to see Scaringi here and maybe off tackle. They've been having some success with their outside runs.
But Bechtel is now 5 tackles for a loss, lost a yard in that play. So 2nd and 11 for the Lions, who are 3-2 on the season. Halifax 0-5, looking for their first win. They'd love to get it tonight on homecoming. There's the pass by Luther down the far sideline and to their big man Alex Long, and he comes down with a catch. What a catch by Alex Long, his 21st reception of the season. Brister was the one on coverage.
What a great job by Alex. You see, I mean, look at the way he follows that ball the whole way down, and he stays in bounds and uses his body very well. It's a good throw, too, by Luther, putting it on his outside towards the sideline like that.
27-yard pickup on that pass play. Luther to Long. Long last year, first team Mid-Penn Capital. Last year he had 72 catches, over 1,000 yards, and 11 touchdowns a season ago. The pitch to Scaringi, who's running forward and moves the pile a little bit, just shy of the 20-yard line on that first down run. So Scaringi already with 5 or 6 carries. Let's take a look at our injury injury reserve list brought to you by OSS Health, high-quality orthopedic care. And there is Drew Brandstetter, the quarterback, 6'1", 170-pound senior. Started as sophomore year as the starting quarterback, has the headset on tonight, has a boot on that ankle. Last week in the loss to Juliana in the third quarter, he was injured. Last week he was 9 of 18, 124 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, and he was injured, and he's out tonight. Syringi straight ahead, still pushing, and goes forward. Good second effort by him, and this offensive line is pretty big. We talk about experience for Camp Hill with 4 seniors and just 1 sophomore. The sophomores at right tackle, Anderson McKnight, who's a big boy, 6'3", 330-pound sophomore. So Coach Bigelow is happy with this offensive line, and this is really one of the more experienced offensive line he's had in his 8 seasons as coach.
And he's gonna have to lean on him tonight with a young quarterback behind center. You gotta lean on those upperclassmen and size up front.
They're approaching inside the Keystone Fireplace red zone. The pitch to Serdar. Serdar jumps a man and jumps down into the 10-yard line, jumps through a tackle, and has enough for a first down. A Wendy Hunter got junked first down. Miller made the stop after a good run by Alex. Good second effort as he went to the air.
Absolutely. Again, another nice run outside off tackle. You know, wet night like tonight, you see the ball kind of moving around a little bit, you know, with tosses and handoffs. Make sure that they got to secure that here moving forward.
So Camp Hill inside the 10-yard line with a 1st and goal, looking to put the first points on the board. And that is Serdar getting towards the goal line and stopped short, stopped down at the 3-yard line. So a 2nd and goal from the 3 coming up for the Lions, looking for some points. And they have scored some points this year, 161 points they have scored. They averaged 32 points a game. They lost in double overtime to Lancaster Catholic to start the season. Then they won 3 in a row, beat Big Springs, Susquehanna, and Newport, and then lost last week to Juliana 35-7. Camp Hill looking to get the first touchdown of the night. Walking in for the score is Alex Serdar with the touchdown run, and that's his 4th touchdown of the season, and Camp Hill is on the board first. Take another look with our Faulkner Honda touchdown.
Yeah, straight dive. You know, nice big hole and opening there, and Serdar easily gets into the end zone, almost untouched.
His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He came into this game with 254 yards on the ground, averaging about 9 a carry. He also has 11 catches for 117 yards and a receiving touchdown for Alex Serdar. So Jack Bender will provide the extra point for the Camp Hill Lions, who strike first here tonight on homecoming in Halifax. And Camp Hill has a 7-0 lead with 6:45 to go in the first quarter. Alex Serdar in the end zone for the Lions, and they lead at 7-0. Week 6 of Friday Night Rivals. A little bit of drizzle before this game tonight at Halifax, but it's holding off for now. Homecoming tonight for the Wildcats, but they trail the Lions in this battle of cats 7-0. And there's a look at Camp Hill's head coach in his 8th season, Tim Bigelow. Bigelow, former quarterback himself at Camp Hill, has done a nice job. We'll tell you a little bit about how he became the head coach a little bit later. An interesting story dates back to 2017. Chris, you're not going to believe the story we'll tell you about that coming up. But Coach Bigelow has done a great job, really does a super job working with the quarterbacks. A quarterback himself can really relate and has a great relationship with Drew and the rest of the quarterbacks at Camp Hill. So let's see what Halifax can do. They had an interception. It really could have been big for them, but then Doy knocked it away, and the sophomore quarterback making his first ever varsity start tonight falls on the ball to get it back to Camp Hill after he threw the interception.
Yeah.
So a missed opportunity for Halifax.
You hit it on the head. Big time missed opportunity, but we both thought it was going to be a pick six for Halifax and get on the board early, and unfortunately Camp Hill recovered and took it down the field and got 7.
A short kick there on our Good Feet store kickoff, and a return of 8 yards up to the 49-yard line, and that's where Halifax will have the football. It's time for our remarkable home buyers scoring summary. There's your touchdown. 8-play, 62-yard drive, took 3:40 off the clock. Alex Serdar with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and it's 7-0, your remarkable home buyers scoring summary. So there is Coach Wall, his 2nd season at Halifax. Coached 11 season at Northern Lebanon. 46-35 there. He also had 9 seasons as a head coach at Millersburg. Also coached 4 years at Bishop O'Reilly and Wilkes-Barre. Let's take a look at the Halifax Wildcats starting offense. They're led by their quarterback Tegan Carroll. Also some of their big playmakers. They like to get the ball to the freshman Eli Miller to run the football. And also Peyton Thomas, one of their top pass catchers. But this is an offense that has struggled. Only 28 points this season. They've only scored 4 touchdowns. Their average is 5 points per game. They lost to Minersville to start the season 39-0, and then a loss to Upper Dolphin, Steel High, Lime Mountain, and last week to James Buchanan. Good run by Tegan Carroll, and that's where they're going to get most of their offense when they start to run the football.
That was a nice design quarterback draw here for Tegan Carroll. Get him going early here. I love the call. I love the timing of it, and hopefully get any pregame jitters and things like that maybe out and over.
So here's a big 3rd down. They have struggled on 3rd downs this season, Chris. Just 19%, the Wildcats on 3rd down. So here's a 3rd and short, very manageable for them in Lion territory. This is a big play for the Wildcats to keep their offense on the field, and Carroll's going to go straight ahead over the remade offensive line. They've changed some offensive linemen up. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's meet Camp Hill's defense, brought to you by Focal Point Remodeling. This is a good defense with their linebackers. How about Noah Doy, their safety? Last week he had 28 tackles in the loss to Judiana, and their bookends are pretty good. The defensive end with Long and Kelly. Long 6'3", Kelly 6 foot. They've caused a lot of trouble from the defensive end spot. And there is Noah Doy, who had those 28 tackles a week ago. And you see he's crowding the line of scrimmage to come up forward. The handoff to Bechtel, and Bechtel is being pushed back, and he loses maybe 2 or 3 yards. Good job by Camp Hill flying to the football.
Yeah, Camp Hill right now is definitely loading the box and saying, hey, we're going to stop the run and force you guys to throw the football. So you're seeing that. I mean, they're swarming right now.
It's one thing that they do. They swarm to that football. There is a look at Michael Kelly, the 6 foot, 200-pound senior. 22 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss. One thing that Camp Hill doesn't have this year, as they have in the past, not as many players are playing both ways. And we'll talk more about the numbers a little bit later on. Pass is knocked down. Carroll's pass knocked down right in front of him. And you see that the big man, Alex Long, was in there to knock it down at 6'3", using every bit of his frame to knock that pass down.
Yeah, that's a great job by Alex. Staying in position, timing the jump up with the quarterback's arm motion. Now it's going to force a big 3rd and long here.
So these are these 3rd downs that Halifax wants to stay out of. They were able to get a 3rd and short last time with a Carroll run, but this is a lot longer. This is a tougher situation for them. They are in Camp Hill territory with the football at the 42, but a 3rd and 11 now for the Wildcats. Let's see what Carroll can do. From the gun, Carroll has pocket collapsing, now goes to his right, eyes still downfield, fires the football, and has the completion. Way to come back for the football was Thomas. Thomas with his 9th catch of the season for the sophomore. Thomas came back for it. Carroll tried to give himself as much time as he possibly could for his receivers to get open.
And he took a shot to the head there, too. No, that's an unbelievable play by Tegan Carroll. You know, buying himself time, stepping up in the pocket, then rolling out right, and nice little touch pass on the sideline there for a big first down.
13-yard pickup. Carroll to the sophomore Thomas. Thomas's 9th grab of the season. Carroll's numbers, he's passed for 263 yards, 1 touchdown, has completed 40% of his passes this year. And the handoff to Miller. Miller, the freshman, 6 foot, 165-pound freshman. Came into this game with 34 carries for just 62 yards as a receiving touchdown on 6 catches. His brother, baseball player at Bloomsburg, the Miller family, 3 boys. Judah is the brother at Bloomsburg that plays baseball, but Eli Miller, the next Miller boy to play for the Wildcats, getting into the action as a freshman, picked up a couple of yards. So 2nd and 8 after a 2-yard pickup, ball from the 26. Carroll gives it back to Miller. Miller straight ahead breaks a tackle and picks up a nice carry. Bring up 3rd and manageable for the Wildcats as they are getting closer to the red zone.
Nice little off guard, you know, dive there, and able to punch it for a few more yards.
Doy in 6 games now has 63 tackles and 1 interception.
Active.
Yeah, he had 13 tackles in the opening game against Lancaster Catholic and an interception in that game. Had 12 tackles against Newport, and then last week in the loss to Judiana, it's worth saying again, 28 tackles last Friday night. Here comes some pressure on Carroll. Carroll goes forward as the first down and more, still spinning. What a great effort by Carroll, spinning his way for the 1-800-got-junk first down. Doy ended up bringing him down, but now the Wildcats find themselves inside the Keystone Fireplace red zone.
Once again, you see Tegan Carroll's elusiveness and being able to get away from the rush and break tackles and second effort. Outstanding job by Tegan Carroll.
One thing that Coach Hall did after last week's loss to James Buchanan, they lost that game 15-0. He reformed that offensive line, moved some guys around, took Andrew Rank, changed his number, got him on the offensive line, moved guys in different positions, and so far, it's been working out well here for the Wildcats on this drive. They have it 1st and goal, an opportunity to answer the Lions' score. Give to Miller, inside run, picks up a yard or 2 as they're working in the Keystone Fireplace red zone.
Well, they've had some big 3rd down conversions on this drive. I mean, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 9.
Not bad for a team that was just 19% on 3rd downs coming in tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned it, and I'm not seeing it right now, so that's a good sign.
Of course, there are tonight at home on homecoming. Here is Coach Wall on that sideline, his 2nd season. Mentioned time at Northern Lebanon, won some Section 3 championships of the Lancaster Lebanon League there. When his time there, led his team to the District 3 playoffs a couple of years as well. Coached at Millersburg right up the road, was 57-47 there. And Carroll will take the snap. He's going to run the football, but he's blown up and tackled in the backfield. That is Austin Shore. Back-to-back tackles for Shore. Shore now has 26 tackles on the season. He's a 3-year starter, this senior of the defensive line.
Didn't look like anybody got any pads on him. Got a clear shot for the tailback, and my guess is it's going to be the end of the 1st quarter here now too.
Quick moving 1st quarter, so Camp Hill has a 7-0 lead, but Halifax is knocking on the door to tie the game. We are through 1 quarter on Friday Night Rivals. Halifax looking to tie the game to start the second quarter. 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. 3 of 3 on 3rd downs in this series for the Wildcats. They try to set up a screen, and they have the completion and the touchdown, but there's a penalty marker down. A lineman was downfield. Bechtel caught it and scored it. That would have been his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season, but that's coming back. Well designed in a way. Not a lot of room to work with the ball in the 10 to set up that screen.
Correct. And then obviously the big point is the offensive lineman can't be down that far and then throw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage because you're going to get called every time.
So take a look at an eligible lineman already 12 yards down the field.
Just led the tailback down too far. He's got to be able to catch that behind the line of scrimmage, or you're going to have what it was, which is illegal men downfield.
So now a 3rd and 15. They'll replay the down. Carroll 4 carries, 22 yards. Miller 3 carries, 7 yards on this drive. Carroll, before that play, 1 of 2 passing for 13 yards on the drive. Carroll fires towards the back of the end zone and incomplete. Was looking to go back to Bechtel, but incomplete. So 4th down now coming up. Fourth down, let's see if they try a field goal. Medial, the sophomore, 0 for 1 this year in field goals. So let's see if this is in his range. You'll be looking at about a 20, let's see, a 31-yarder?
Yeah, that's what it looks to be. Appears to be about 31 yards.
So let's see if the sophomore Medill can make this 31-yarder. 0 for 1 so far this season on field goal attempts. This kick is up, and the kick is no good.
Had the leg, just seemed to push it a little bit to the right.
Pushed it to the right, and Halifax stays off the board. Coming up next week, we'll be in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. Susquehanna Township and East Pennsboro. Township's 4-1. East Penn is 3-2. Should be a good matchup. The only loss for Township was in week 4 to West Perry, 31-14. West Perry, that's who East Pennsboro plays tonight. And Susquehanna Township has Middletown tonight. So it's Susquehanna Township and East Pennsboro next week. So let's see what Camp Hill can do with their second offensive opportunity with a 7-0 lead. And the handoff to Serdar, who spins his way for a couple of yards on that first down carry. Serdar has the touchdown, the 3-yard touchdown, the 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Camp Hill.
Halifax doing a good job of keeping him and only, holding him to only a couple of yards there. But Halifax has to be happy with the drive they put together. They just didn't finish it or score any points, but
ended up missing that 31-yard field goal. So a 3-yard pickup on that last play, 2nd and 7. And airs it out down the field, has a man and the catch, and you're going to go to that target all night long because why not? I mean, that's what we talked about, the sophomore quarterback being able to fire it up and get it to long.
Well, again, those are high percentage throws for a young quarterback who can throw the fade ball to a 6'3" target and senior target, that is, in Alex Long, and he's gotten behind him now. 2 big plays for him.
Long now with 2 catches in the game and 22 catches on the season for a kid that had 72 catches a year ago. Syringi up the middle, across the 45 down to the 44-yard line on that first down run. Hoover made the stop from his defensive line position. Hoover with 2 tackles tonight. He has 28 tackles now in the season. So a 2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8 for Camp Hill. They're in Wildcat territory with a 7-0 lead. And the sophomore at quarterback as Drew Brandstetter, their outstanding all-star quarterback, injured in a boot tonight and wearing a headset on the sideline, not playing. Luther fires and almost picked off as it was over his intended target, over the head of the receiver. He was looking to get the ball to Serdar, and Carroll was there to break up the play for the Wildcats.
Yeah, really close to being another interception. seemed to be a little late on his delivery there.
Imagine the nerves, though, Chris, of
yeah.
Colby Luther getting the start, only a sophomore. He did have some playing time. He was 9 of 20, played in 3 of the 5 games they played in. 9 of 20, 240 yards, does have 2 touchdown passes, so he's had some experience this year. They get the ball back to Long. Long across the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Carroll made the stop on Long's 3rd catch of the game. 4th down coming up for the Lions.
Yep. Those are high percentage throws, a little quick screen to Alex Long. You know, I expect to see some more of that here before the night is over.
So 4th down for the Lions, and one thing that Coach Bigelow does not like to do, he never likes to punt. So certainly in this down and distance, he'll be going for it. Luther hands the ball to Sadar. Oh, fakes it. Play action. Great play action, and has the completion. Wow, what a fake to Sadar. Pulled it out and has the completion. Bechtel made the stop, and Scaringi made the catch out of the backfield for a 1st down.
Yeah, watch this. This is a heck of a catch by number 5. One-handed.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And last year he was a guard. He was a guard on the offensive line, and now M.A. Scaringi with his 14th catch of the season. He has 3 receiving touchdowns this year. Not bad for an old guard that played guard last year. There's the pitch coming to Sadar. Sadar following his blockers, and a good 1st down run there across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Miller made the stop. And we are going to raise the roof for the first time here tonight. Able Sun Roofing. Before you sign, call Able Sun Roofing as we raise the roof. Homecoming here tonight. Big night in Halifax for the band and the cheerleaders and everyone involved. Homecoming activities coming up at halftime as we raise the roof for week number 6 of Friday Night Rivals. Able Sun Roofing and Siding. Long 3 catches, 65 yards. Good long drive coming. This will be the 8th play of the drive coming up.
Yeah, major 4th down conversion there. Unbelievable. And a little risky, you know, to throw the football like that with a young quarterback on 4th and short.
Play fake was good too.
It was.
Fooled me.
Yep.
Fooled me for sure. So 2nd and 5 for the Lions. 7-0 lead. They have the football back in Wildcats territory. 8:20 to go here, clock running, 2nd quarter. Mid-Penn Capital is where we're tonight. Some of their smaller schools. Sadar running, spinning, has the 1st down. A penalty marker comes down out in the backfield. Miller made the stop after about a 15-yard run.
Offense, number 5. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still.
So holding penalty on the Lions will push them back. And they got that on M.A. Scaringi got called for the hold. After Sadar's 15-yard run will be wiped out. Camp Hill pushed it back. Last week's game to Judiana, Coach Bigelow said not a lot went well. They really had a couple bad interceptions. They had some bad penalties. They couldn't stop the run. And last week's 35-7 loss to Judiana. So 2nd down and long coming up for Camp Hill after the penalty. Camp Hill, after winning the District 3 championship last year, their roster wasn't very big. They had 22 kids on the roster last year. They had 9 graduates, Chris, and they only had 4 sophomores coming in. So they were looking at about 15, 16 players this year. But because of the success that they had 7 kids that came out that weren't playing before, which was huge.
Absolutely. That's a nice job out there by the young quarterback, stepping up, getting a couple positive yards, and not taking the sack or forcing the ball downfield.
So now Camp Hill has a roster of about 28-30. So They had those 7 kids that decided, hey, I want to be part of this, something special. It was a special year last year, the win over Trinity to win the district championship, and then they just kept going. They just kept taking care of business. The next week, they beat West Catholic in the first round of the state tournament, and then they ended up losing to Dunmore in the state quarterfinals, 41-25 a year ago. 3rd and 13. Whoop. Trying to set up a little screen pass to Sardar and off his helmet. And a 4th down coming up now for Camp Hill, a team that doesn't like to punt. So I imagine they're going to be going for it, even though it's 4th and long. Because believe it or not, Drew Brandstetter is their punter. So I said, Coach, what's going to happen if you have to punt? Well, we don't like to punt, Coach said. So hopefully you're not into that problem. And they'll be going for it here as Luther comes back in with the play. So a 4th and long for them, a 4th and about 13. The Lions with a 7-0 lead. Sadar with the 3-yard touchdown run put them on the board. 3 wideouts top of your screen, 2 to the bottom, going up top, going towards the end zone, looking for the intended target was Ziegler, and incomplete. Ziegler, he's one of those guys, a sophomore, he was a backup quarterback. Last year he didn't come out, and because of success, he came out this year. So Ziegler's caught a couple of balls and has a touchdown this year as the 6'3" senior, but unable to hook up with that. It's time now for our Valley Pediatrics, Dentistry, and Orthopedics Smile Cam. Our cameras were rolling before the start of this game tonight, looking for some great smiles as the Tooth Fairy is looking for great smiles on the Valley Pediatric Dentistry Orthopedics Smile Cam. Homecoming here tonight at Halifax, and Halifax has the football back on downs. They had a pretty impressive drive that they were unable to score on after a 31-yard missed field goal. Penalty marker down, and I think it's on Camp Hill. Don't forget. So an offside penalty on the defense. Stay tuned for the Focal Point Remodeling halftime reports, highlights and stats from the first half. Also the best high school football highlights from around the country. It's all coming up on the Focal Point Remodeling halftime report. We'll also have our Scholar Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Schellenberger Januzzi Wolf LLP, all at the half. So I mentioned before, Lime Mountain, they sit atop the Mid-Penn Capital. Of course, you had some realignment, so you had some teams moving over from the Mid-Penn Colonial, and then you had the Liberty Division. It was fun while it was lasted, and they have moved into the Capital as well. There's a timeout on the field, and we'll be back after this. Camp Hill leads it 7-0. Mid-Penn Capital action tonight in the Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Phil Shaner alongside Chris Thompson tonight from Peters Mountain. 1st and 5 for the Wildcats, and they have the big completion and a 1st down into Lions territory down to the 45-yard line. Ziegler is the one that made the stop. Thomas with his 2nd grab of the night. Now 10 catches for the sophomore on the season.
Nice little slant here by Halifax, and Teagan puts it right on the money. Almost looked like there might have been some early contact there too on the receiver.
20-yard pickup on that pass play. Carroll to Thomas, their 2nd big hookup of the night. Thomas now with 2 catches on the season, came in with 8. And a 1st down for the Wildcats. Kitchen Saver 1st down into Lions territory. Ball is in and out of the hands of Carroll on the snap. Carroll running, trying to make a positive play out of it, and gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Kelly made the stop.
Yeah, just might have taken his eyes off of it a little bit here, but at least he almost gets back to the line of scrimmage. You know, they don't lose a whole lot of yards, but you definitely want to gain positive yards if you can on 1st and 2nd down, so you're not sitting at 3rd and longs.
Carroll 2 of 3 passing, so doing well passing the football tonight. He's also run for 22 yards. We talked about Tegan Carroll as our spotlight player. If Halifax had a chance, he had to play well, and so far he's playing very well. They set up the screen and have the completion, and a nice play there. Well-designed offensive play, and pass Osinga. Landon Osinga makes his 6th catch of the season, and Shore was the one to make the stop after the Osinga catch.
Love the timing and the call. 2nd and long. It's a great call to get some positive yards back from that early 1st down, you know, bobbled snap.
When you look at all these wide receivers, Osinga, Thomas, Medill, they're all sophomores. Very young Halifax roster.
Yes.
Not many seniors on the Halifax roster. So with 3rd down, they've been good on 3rd downs tonight. Straight ahead goes Carroll, and it's a scrum. He has enough for the 1st down, and that is Doy trying to go over the top, number 8, Noah Doy, but it was enough for the 1st down run, Carroll, and now they've been almost perfect on 3rd downs tonight for Halifax.
Right there you see Noah Doy jump in there late.
He's a wrestler, really good wrestler.
Scrappy.
And also a good baseball player as well, and again, a special player, one of the top safeties in the area, no question, on the entire mid-pen, just not the mid-pen capital, but the entire mid-pen. Noah Doy, he's starting to really like football now too. You know, coach said he's understanding it, he has a lot of confidence, and we're really starting to like football more, and maybe football wasn't the top sport, and in the other sports that he played, he's also a wrestler and a baseball player. Miller gets the handoff. Not much there, maybe a yard. The defense came flying. Sadar made the stop from his corner position.
Great job by closing in quickly by Sadar there. I mean, what a great job on defense.
2nd and 10 now for the Wildcats, who are in Camp Hill territory again. They had that great drive, their first offensive opportunity, and they missed a 31-yard field goal. They had the ball 1st and goal, weren't able to punch it in, tried the 31-yarder. It was pushed to the right. So they are close tonight, that's for sure. One thing that Coach Bigelow said is on film, they do not look like an 0-5 team. The fight, how competitive they are, defensively, how they fly to the ball. Here's Carroll, he's going to keep it himself, trying to run for yards. Carroll makes a man miss, a stiff arm, and gets across the 35-yard line. Sadar made the stop, but it's very close to a 1st down, a 9-yard pickup, so a 3rd and short coming up.
Great stiff arm, you pointed it out right there. What a great run, great pickup there to make it now 3rd and short.
So ball is resting on the 24-yard line, so he went across the 25 on that play, a pickup of 8 or 9 yards, and now a 3rd and short. They've been good on 3rd downs tonight, the Wildcats have. 3 wideouts, top of your screen for Carroll, and Miller is the running back behind him. On a 3rd and short, they've run Carroll quarterback keepers. This time they're going to fire a quick hitter out to Osinga, and Osinga has the catch, but well defended by Serdar out there, and it's going to be short of the 1st. A 4th and short coming up for the Wildcats.
I got to think that this is 4-down territory for them, and knowing that they're going to go for it on 4th down, took a shot there with a perimeter screen, and really well covered by Campbell.
Just tells you how good the lockdown corner of AJ Sadar is. I mean, 3-year starter. Coach says we can keep him out. He doesn't need any help. He can be out on an island and he can make plays. Let's see if Carroll will keep it himself. He's had some success with the quarterback keeper, and he pushes the pile forward. Depends on the spot if they're going to give him enough for the first down, and I think he's got it. He does. First down. So the Wildcats have been big tonight on third downs coming into this game, as we mentioned before. Just 19% on third down, but tonight, very good. And there you see the face mask.
Yeah.
Carroll was getting his face mask ripped by a defensive lineman. No flag called, but a first down for the Halifax Wildcats. It's kitchen saver first down as they move the football, getting close to entering the red zone as they have it down around the 23-yard line.
Yeah, they were definitely yelling it from the sideline too, and officials just must have missed it. But that could have been a big 15-yard penalty there for Camp Hill.
Handoff straight up the middle, trying to get some tough yards running forward, but hard to do as Bechtel was on the run. Mosolfich, Luke made the stop. He's got some size on him. 12 tackles, a tackle for a loss, and a sack for Luke this year. 6 foot, 195-pound senior. Was able to stop Bechtel. Was able to get a couple of yards, got 2. So a 2nd and 8 now coming up for the Wildcats. Quick moving first half.
Absolutely. Yeah, so under a minute 30 already.
Bechtel, or excuse me, Carroll, play action. Fires and was trying to get the ball to Miller. Got the short completion to Miller.
It's a great catch, but boy, he had a guy, you know, Carroll had a guy in his face right away on the bootleg there. What a great catch. Able to get his hands underneath it before it hit the ground.
Eli Miller with a super catch there. The second one of the game, 11 catches on the season for the Miller boy, with his 2 brothers played at Halifax. He's only a freshman, so they're expecting a lot out of him over the next couple years. Carroll on the run, running right side, another straight arm, and is stopped shy of the 10-yard line. And there's a timeout called by Halifax, and we'll step aside. The Wildcats are moving it. We'll be back. First and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball on the 11-yard line as they are working in the Keystone Fireplace red zone. Carroll. Ball is on the turf. Bechtel dropped it. And who has it? Halifax, I think, has it back. Referee has 2 fingers up.
That clock is running now.
Yeah, it is clock. Stops at 28 seconds, and there's a
that's close.
Timeout on the field. Coming up, the PSECU financial education tip, a focus on you. That's the PSECU difference. Halifax with a big moment here. Said that Bechtel's fumble was recovered by Halifax. They have the ball back, 2nd down from about the 11-yard line. They won points. They missed a 31-yard field goal earlier in this first half. They moved the ball well. Carroll to throw, fires, and incomplete. Was looking for Bechtel. 3rd down coming up for the Wildcats. You see 24 seconds on the clock. You see Coach Wall talking to his quarterback, Tegan Carroll, the junior. So Halifax is out of timeouts. Camp Hill has 3 remaining before your Focal Point Remodeling halftime report.
I would think you got to take 2 shots here into the end zone with no timeouts and 24 seconds, and not sure about your field goal kicker.
Carroll scans the field, throws it over the middle, and there's a penalty marker down. It'll be interference. Looking for Thomas, who already has 2 big catches tonight. Was looking for that touchdown, and Doy might have been called for the pass interference.
Automatic 1st down.
So pass interference against the Lions. That's a costly penalty for them. Here's another look.
Let's see if he gets there a little early. Yeah, he's over his back.
The penalties on Noah Doy, who we've talked about, the 71 tackles, the interception, the 28 tackles he had a week ago. He's been all over the place tonight, but that time too aggressive. And the pass interference call as he was guarding Thomas, the sophomore who's having a big night already tonight. Has 2 big catches in this first half for the Wildcats. So now it helps you out with the yardage, and it gives you, an opportunity here to get a little closer to the end zone. Obviously, you got to throw the ball with this point with no timeouts. With 20 seconds, you want to throw it towards the end zone. So here we go. Carroll looks, rolls out to his right, and he's sacked. That's what you can't have. You can't have the sack. They're going to have to get up and spike it right away.
Well, no, they can't. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you can't do it. That's right. You got to make a playoff with 8 seconds. 7, 6. And here's the final play of the first half. Fires to the end zone and incomplete. They were looking for a pass interference as it was going to Bechtel. And they just ran out of time. So scoring opportunities for the Wildcats. They missed a 31-yard field goal, and they had an opportunity to score there. Unable to put points on the board, but we're at the half. Camp Hill leads it 7-0, and they are in a dogfight. It's time for both teams to hit the showers. Brought to you by West Shore Home. During the Focal Point Remodeling halftime report, be sure to also watch for the PA Beef Council beef tip and recipe as both teams now hit the showers. Brought to you by West Shore Home. As they head to the locker room for halftime of Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday night rivals. And we'll catch a word from the head coach of Camp Hill and Coach Bigelow in a second and get his thoughts on this first half. So the Wildcats unable to score with some scoring opportunities. Camp Hill was able to put 7 on the board. So let's head down to the field. Coach Bigelow and Coach, we talked earlier this week about the fact that this Halifax team on film didn't look like an 0-5 team. They're certainly giving a good fight here tonight in the first half.
They are, man. We had 2 possessions on offense. So Colby just came up to me and said, hey, that was a very, very fast first half. They're possessing the ball. They're winding that 40-second play clock down, and they're juicing the clock a little bit. With Colby getting the start tonight, the sophomore has played pretty well. Obviously, it's a big night for him. You said you were going to try to keep it manageable for him. You've done that, and a pretty wild play there, was able to recover his own interception. But he's played well tonight. Yeah, we're very happy with him. With the series that we had, it's tough to get his legs underneath him in the first half that we had. 2 possessions. We're looking to get him a deep ball occasionally, looking to get him some handoffs to get the nerves down. Sophomore first start, you're going to have your jitters. His eyes are about the size size of a $50 right now. So it's one of those things where you just got to talk softly and slowly to the guy and say, relax, it's just a football game.
All right, Coach, you're an old quarterback at Camp Hill. I know you'll talk him through. All right,
Yep,
thanks for joining us, and have a great second
Appreciate
half.
it.
All right, we're at the half, 7-0 game. We got a good one here tonight. Camp Hill leads at 7-0. It's homecoming tonight here at Halifax. We'll be back with the Focal Point Remodeling halftime report.
This is the Focal Point Remodeling halftime report.
Good game tonight on Peters Mountain. Halifax looking for their first win of the season. They trail 3-2 Camp Hill by a touchdown at the half, 7-0. Time now to take a look at some of the best high school football highlights from around the country.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Day to throw. He's going to hurl it deep downfield, and that ball is pulled in. What a catch by Javian Robinson.
Cam Wade with a cut inside the 40. Wade down the sideline. Wade is gone. Cam Wade, this one from 57 yards.
To evade the rush, throws it, end zone, jump ball, what a catch! Touchdown, Sam Donovan climbs the ladder and comes down with it.
That was a little bit errant. It's one-on-one, he's got him.
Got him again.
He went up and caught it. What
Great
a catch.
Great catch.
Get a number on that man. Is that 19, that sophomore? Strike up the Fairfield Central folk song to Aquarius Shannon, 6'1", 180, a 10th grader, folks.
Guy, he's a power lifter guy. A lot of their offense, and one block kick deserves another, right?
Still loose. Alamo Heights has it, but still not out of bounds. We can get a couple of points here. Another pitch, and they've got room. Miracle on the Mississippi.
You got to be kidding.
It's Max Bacon.
Couple of incredible plays. A couple of you got Moss there. I know one made it. That's pretty good. Good stuff from Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals. We'll continue with our halftime show from Halifax when we return on the Focal Point Remodeling Halftime Report.
This is the Focal Point Remodeling Halftime Report.
Good game tonight. Homecoming at Halifax. Camp Hill with a 7-0 lead at the half over the Wildcats. Time now for our Scholar Athletes, presented by Schollenberger Januzzi Wolf LLP for Camp Hill. Della Hawkins, soccer, track and field, and swim team. Besides being a 3-sport star, Della is an outstanding student athlete as well at Camp Hill. For Halifax, archery, Abigail Federhoff. Archery, huge at Halifax. They're one of the top archery programs in the state of Pennsylvania, and Abigail is very good at archery, also an outstanding student as well. The students chosen each week for the Scholar Athletes are also eligible to win a $3,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season, courtesy of Schellenberger Januzzi Wolf LLP, who are proud to support and encourage outstanding student athletes across central Pennsylvania. Congratulations to our 2 Scholar Athletes tonight. We are at the half, Camp Hill 7, Halifax nothing. You're watching the Focal Point Remodeling Halftime Report.
This is the Focal Point Remodeling Halftime Report.
Congratulations to Lily Crum, our homecoming queen tonight here at Halifax. She broke her ankle on Tuesday in a volleyball match, so there she is in the wheelchair, but tonight she has the crown. Lily Crum, the homecoming queen here at Halifax. What a great story. Time for our first half highlights. Let's take a look. It was a wild couple of plays in this first half. Our Focal Point Remodeling first half highlights. This was the wild play. The interception, right? You think it's going to be a pick six going the other way, but Doy is there to knock it away, and Luther falls on the football. And Camp Hill took advantage of that, trading turnovers, and they go on an 8-play, 62-yard drive as Sadar scores his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, a 3-yard run to make it 7-0, as that's all the scoring we have. Halifax had 2 opportunities to score. They missed a 31-yard field goal and had the ball at the end of the first half, were unable to score. Stat-wise, Camp Hill 159 yards of total offense, Halifax 91. Turnover for Camp Hill. The penalties, 3 for Camp Hill and 1 for Halifax. Quick thoughts on what we see in the stats, Chris?
I mean, Halifax has moved the football pretty religiously in the first half, and time of possession, they probably had it more than Camp Hill, but they're just they're not finishing their drives, and hopefully they can do that this second half.
Coach Bigwell said that Camp Hill only had 2 possessions. That's all they had.
Yep.
Halifax has gotten into the red zone a couple of times, but unable to put points on the board, and that's where we stand at the half. Camp Hill 7, Halifax nothing. More of the Focal Point Remodeling halftime report coming up when we come back.
Closed captioning for tonight. Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by EricBuysYourHouse.com.
7-0 Camp Hill with the lead at the half. Now let's take a look at the Mid-Penn Capital Division standings. Lime Mountain leads the way. They're 4-1 overall, 4-0 in league play, and then it's a logjam after that, Chris. Judiana, James Buchanan, Camp Hill, Steel High, all there with 1 loss. Upper Dolphin is 1-2. Susquehanna 1-2 in the conference. Newport and Halifax, both teams that haven't won yet this season. But as you can see, it's anybody's chance to win the Mid-Penn Capital 6 weeks into the season. So a lot to be played out in the next couple of weeks for sure. We got a good one here tonight as Halifax is trying to get their first win of the season. You said it a couple of times. Their offense has moved the ball well, limited the touches for Camp Hill. And it's just a matter of getting things straight in the red zone and getting some points on the board for Halifax.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game, you know, and you got to finish those drives, and you get down in the red zone, you got to find ways to put it in the end zone. And see if Halifax continues to do some quarterback runs.
All right, let's head down on the field. Coach Wall joins us now. And Coach, your team has certainly been able to move the football, as Chris just said. It's just problems in the red zone. What can you do to correct the red zone problems here in the second half, Coach?
Well, we just have to make sure we punch it in, and we get down there and our drives, start to fizzle out a little bit. So we have to figure out a way to finish them off and get some points on the board.
Coach, your team is so young. 0-5 coming in doesn't look like an 0-5 team. Boy, your guys are scrappy and fly after the football.
Well, they really don't know any better. We've played the toughest teams in our league so far already. So now, we're no longer young, inexperienced freshmen, and sophomores. We're seasoned freshmen and sophomores.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Have a great second half. We're looking forward to it. Should be a good one here. Halifax and Camp Hill, just a 1-touchdown difference between these two teams. Coming up tomorrow, college football on CBS 21. USC, welcome to the Big Ten. They went to the Big House, almost did it, but failed to do it. They'll take on Wisconsin as the Badgers will be in Southern California tomorrow, 3:30 on CBS 21, Big Ten football. Then the NFL, the Steelers, can they remain undefeated, taking on the Colts? And it should be a fun game at 4:25. Kansas City and the Chargers. A great doubleheader of NFL football all starts at noon on Sunday with the NFL Today with JB and the gang in New York. And there's our homecoming queen. Broke her ankle on the volleyball court on Tuesday, and tonight Lily Crum was crowned the queen here at Halifax homecoming. So that's exciting. Should be a very exciting second half between these two teams. As we mentioned, we showed you the standings, so this is an extremely important game if Camp Hill wants to have any thoughts of winning the Capital Division. They have Upper Dolphin to play next, and then Steel High, Lime Mountain, and James Buchanan. For Halifax at Susquehanna next week, then Newport, who's winless, and then at Judiana and Bowling Springs to finish the year for Halifax, their schedule. So Halifax has certainly moved the football. They have 8 first downs. They've done well on third downs, 6 of 9 on third downs, 1-on-1 on fourth down conversions. Tegan Carroll, 5 of 10, 47 yards passing. He's ran 9 times for 26 yards. Eli Miller, 5 carries for 16 yards. Thomas has 2 catches for 35 yards for Halifax. For Camp Hill also has 8 first downs. They are 2 or 4 on third downs. Colby Luther making his first start as a sophomore, 4 of 6, 75 yards passing. Of course, has that 1 interception that he threw to start the game. And then Sarangi, 8 carries, 46 yards. AJ Serdar, 7 carries, 32 yards and a touchdown. Alex Long has 3 catches for 65 yards. And MA has a catch out of the backfield, 1 catch for 10 yards. So there's your individual stats. And we're ready for the second half, and so is Coach Bigelow. Bigelow cannot believe that his offense only had 2 possessions. He's the offensive coordinator as well as the head coach. And Jason Lynch is the defensive coordinator at Camp Hill. So Lynch's defense has been out there the majority of that first half. And we're getting ready to get things going with the second half. Kickoff presented by the Good Feet Store. 7-0 game. Camp Hill looking to bounce back from their loss last week to Judiana. And the short kick taken at the 45-yard line. Osenga was the one that fell on it. So let's see what the Wildcats could do. Had a very productive first half offensively. They just weren't able to punch it in. They stalled out in the red zone twice.
Well, they got great field position here on that opening kickoff. Almost midfield here.
Time for the Wildcats. Beaver.
So the Wildcats have the football at their own 45-yard line to start this second half. Looking for win number 1 on the season. Dill goes in motion. Handoff. Bechtel up straight ahead, short of the 50-yard line. Sarangi made the stop at the 49. So second down and about 7. 3 or 4 yard pickup on that first run.
Love it. Nice downhill run, getting positive yards on first down. It's good.
This again is a Wildcat team that has only scored 28 points this season. They were shut out twice. Minersville shut them out. They were shut out last week by James Buchanan. You couldn't tell the way they played in the first half. Their offense was working well. Maybe the difference is the shakeup of that offensive line. They made some changes. Long makes the stop there from his defensive end position. No gain on the run. So it's 3rd and 7 coming up.
Huge play by Alex Long there, holding that fullback to almost no gain.
Halifax 4 of 6 on 3rd downs in the first half. Much better than they have done the entire season on 3rd downs. But this Halifax team is young. When you're talking about underclassmen, they only have a couple of seniors. Most of their wide receiver playmakers are sophomores. Carroll, the quarterback, he's a junior. Bechtel's a junior. Miller's a freshman. Here's Carroll running, and he's sacked. Thrown down for about a 6-yard loss, and that is Michael Kelly with his 4th sack of the season. 3-year starter comes in and causes all kinds of trouble.
Well, on defensive end, Alex Long actually started that by, he came in untouched, running the hoop there. And
the bookends.
Yep.
Long at one end, Kelly at the other.
Yeah, it was, Teagan had really nowhere to go.
4th down now for the Wildcats. Long will be in to punt the football to the Lions. Punt takes a bounce. They get away from it and takes a Halifax roll down inside the 15-yard line to the 14. So that's where Camp Hill's offense will have it. Coming up next week, it is Susquehanna Township and East Pennsboro. Should be a good one. We'll be in the Mid-Penn Colonial. Susquehanna Township's 4-1. East Pennsboro's 3-2. They're 2 rivals. Coach Heaton with the Indians always has his team ready to go. Should be a good one. East Pennsboro lost for 2 weeks. They lost to Becca and Trinity, and they're on a 3-game winning streak going into their game tonight at West Perry. So should be a good one next week in the Colonial. So we have a new quarterback in for Camp Hill, and it's running the shotgun is, of course, we thought we'd see Doy in there doing this, and they give him an opportunity. It's Noah Doy, the 5'9", 140-pound senior. Rennick made the stop. Doy gets the direct snap. Looked like he wanted to maybe, I don't know, pitch it or hand it off to someone, but there was some communication problems in the backfield.
Most certainly. It looked like some miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back.
Coach Bigelow mentioned that they worked with Doy out of like a Wildcat type look for him, so this was expected. Of course, with his team only having 2 offensive possessions in that first half, he realizes how important these offensive possessions are. Doy on the keeper, gets close to first down yardage, and Bechtel made the stop for the Wildcats. It is a first down, so a pickup of 12 yards on the run, and that is a 1-800-GOT-JUNK first down run by Noah Doy. In at quarterback now, running the Wildcat for the Lions.
Well, that's one way to eat up the clock and keep Halifax off the field, is going a little Wildcat and running the football.
This is good to come out in the second half, give the Wildcats a different look.
Correct. Yep. And Halifax might not, probably have, probably hasn't been prepared for it all week.
Doy will take the snap, and he is running up the middle, makes a man miss. He's an outstanding wrestler. Carroll made the stop. Both him and his brother, Christian, both very, very good wrestlers. They also play baseball, three sport stars. Christian, his brother, was an excellent player for Camp Hill. He's now at Westchester University. Plays on the club baseball team there. So the Lions moving the ball here. Their first opportunity offensively with Doy at quarterback. Doy fakes the handoff and powers ahead for a first down, runs across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Carroll makes another stop. Carroll had 20 tackles coming in. Carroll's also forced a fumble and recovered a fumble this year for Halifax on defense.
There he is, that toughness, that scrappiness that he shows. I thought he was going to have a negative play, and next thing you know, he turns it into a first down.
Time for Mustache Cam. Last time we were at Spring Grove when you were with us, Chris, you made Mustache Cam. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mustache Cam brought to you by Barber Styling Institute. Chris Thompson was on Mustache Cam a few weeks ago, but not tonight. He's safe inside the press box, but there is a nice mustache and a beard there as well. It's the Mustache Cam on Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Barber Styling Institute. Here on homecoming tonight at Halifax in a 7-0 game. We have an injured player down for Halifax, and much like we talked about Camp Hill, that is Alan Long. Alan Long, the 6'3", 220-pound junior. Much like Camp Hill, the numbers for Halifax, they don't have many players. You're talking about rosters in the 20s, low 20s.
I believe he's also their punter too, wasn't he? Didn't he just punt?
Yes, yes, he did.
So we got to keep an eye on that.
So a 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for the Lions. Handoff goes nowhere. Great job by the Wildcats to take care of that. Running forward and nowhere to go for Sadar, who has the touchdown tonight. Gets a yard, and that's it. 2nd and 9 now coming up for Camp Hill. Camp Hill averaging 431 yards of total offense a game. They are a pass-first team, but that's, of course, when they had Drew Brandstetter, who's injured on the sidelines with a boot. They're averaging 287 yards passing a game and 144 running a game in the first 5 games of the season. Doy to pass. Intercepted, and he dropped it. It would have been an interception by the sophomore Mason Burster, unable to hold on to it. So Burster had a pick, but in and out of his hands. These are the plays that an 0-5 team have to make.
Yeah, just like we saw in the first quarter, what we thought was going to be a pick 6, and then they got the ball back. There's a great opportunity to have an interception and get the ball back at good field position.
So Burster, the sophomore, unable to hold on to that interception that Doy threw it. It was right in his hands. Couldn't come down with a football. So now a 3rd and 9 for the Lions here. Their first drive of the opportunity of the second half. Doy fires the ball down the field over the head of his intended target, Ziegler, and incomplete, and a 4th down coming up. Noah Doy takes a hit right here after he threw the football.
Oof. Yeah, he'll feel that one tomorrow morning.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, big time hit.
Eli Miller, the freshman, put the smack on him. Eli Miller now 30 tackles on the season, has a couple tackles for a loss. He put the hit on Doy. Doy might want to say, hey, put me back at the slot position. Get me on this quarterback deal.
Yeah.
So a 4th down. Alex Long is back there. Will he punt it? He will. Alex Long punts the football, the first punt of the night for Camp Hill, and the ball is in and out of the Wildcats' hands, but able to fall on the football, so the Wildcats will have it. It's time to raise the roof. That was Bechtel who was able to come down with that. Abel Sun Roofing and Siding. Abel Sun and Roofing, before you sign, call them. Raising the roof here at Halifax tonight. Homecoming crowd having a good time. It's the band, the cheerleaders, everybody involved in raising the roof this evening. Their team is in a good game. 7-0 score, and Halifax has the football. Their second chance with the ball here in the second half. 6:32 to go, 3rd quarter. Garrell hands the ball to Bechtel. Bechtel gets a couple of yards. Halifax has moved the ball, done a nice job. Thomas has a couple big catches. Carroll hasn't thrown it much, but when he has, he's some nice completions. Second down and 5 after the 5-yard run by Bechtel.
And some big-time runs with some nice stiff arms.
Yeah, he's had 3 stiff arms in that first half, impressed us. We were talking about that off air. Very good at laying down a stiff arm. And here's Carroll running. Another stiff arm is needed, but not the case. And another sack coming up to make the sack from his defensive end spot, Alex Long, with sack number 6 of the season for Alex Long.
Yeah, it was a great job getting upfield, and thought maybe Teagan might stiff arm him and keep him off, and Alex using his upper body strength and frame to hold on tight.
So now 6 sacks on the season for Long. Kelly has a sack, the other defensive end. He has 4 now on the season. So your bookends on the defensive end spots for the Lions with 6 and 4 sacks on the year, doing the job. Number 9 and number 56 coming from the defensive ends positions. Here's a 3rd and 15. Carroll rolls out, has a man chasing him and fires the football downfield, has a man in and out of the hands of Bechtel. He was open at the 45-yard line, but couldn't hold on to it, and incomplete.
Great job by Carroll here, being elusive again and keeping his eyes downfield. And he had Bechtel. Bechtel just couldn't hold on to it.
Don't want to sound like a broken record, but those are the plays an 0-5 team needs.
Yep. And again, you've touched on it too, is very young, and all their receivers are
all the
sophomores.
receivers sophomores. Yep, the entire receiving room is, all the receivers are sophomores. So punting out of their own end zone, which is dangerous. And the ball is bouncing into Lions territory down to the 43-yard line, and that's where Camp Hill will have the football with 4:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 7-0 game. And we'll step aside and be back after this. – 7-0 game, Camp Hill over Halifax, 4:45 to go, 3rd quarter. It's week number 6 of the Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Phil Shaner, Chris Thompson with you tonight from Halifax High School. The Lions have the football back. Luther with the pass, has Long, and the completion down to the 35-yard line. Alex Long with his 4th catch of the game.
I was wondering if we were going to get Luther this series, and exactly they put him back in. What a good throw. You know, we were talking about Alex Long too. He's such a big physical size. Probably translates to the tight end position in college.
24-yard pass play. Luther to Long. Long's 4th catch of the game. He's getting close to 100 yards receiving tonight. Straight ahead across the 35, that's as far as they would get. Syringy. Hoover made the stop. And there's an injured Lion down on the field.
Oh, yeah, he definitely got his right leg rolled up on. I'd like to see that.
We'll step aside and be back after this. Luke Molisevich, the injured player for Camp Hill, got up off his own power and ran to the sideline, so that's a good sign. 2nd and 10, 4 minutes to go, third quarter, as Luther, the sophomore, back in at quarterback. Luther, the quick hitter, has the completion, and immediately tackled was Ziegler. Great job by the Wildcats defense to sniff out that quick hitter to Ziegler.
Yeah, you're going to see Tegan Carroll come downhill quick on this. Reads it really well and prevents them from making a big play. Watch him here come downhill into your screen quickly right there.
And then Miller was the one that able to make the stop after you see Carroll sniffed it out quickly. So no gain, 3rd and 10. This Wildcat defense has allowed 42 points per game. They've only given up 7 tonight.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. Another big 3rd and long situation here.
Luther, the sophomore quarterback's going to put it up and throws it, and incomplete. Was looking for long, but nowhere close. And the ball was nearly intercepted. We've seen that a couple of times tonight, and that is Gavin Bierster. We saw his brother Mason drop one, and Gavin almost got one, the two brothers.
Yeah, it's probably best that he didn't, because it was almost like a nice punt. It would have been deep in their own territory. Now 4th and long, and you said they don't like to punt, so we'll see if they go for it here.
4th and long from the Wildcat 35-yard line is where the football is resting. So here we go. They're going to go for it. The sophomore gets the shotgun snap, and incomplete. I don't know if the ball was knocked down at the line or not. He was looking for Alex Long, and the Wildcats take over on downs for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure he had.
Did it get touched? No.
No, it came out. Slipped out of his hand.
Came out.
Yeah.
Came out a little.
Just didn't have the right.
Little
good
funky
grip on it. Yep.
So there you look at Luther, the sophomore quarterback, in the big spotlight tonight with the injury to their star quarterback.
You know, it's old saying goes: you keep a team, keep them hanging around, they can come back on you. That's what we're starting to see right now.
Camp Hill, Halifax, who has moved the football, have it back, a 1st and 10. Carroll to throw, incomplete. Got it out pretty quickly. Looking for Medill, number 11, and Bender was in on the coverage for the Lions. So 2nd and 10 now for Halifax, down 7-0. Quick moving third quarter, 2:54 to go in this third quarter. Again, just those little plays that if Halifax could have converted on them, we might be looking at them having the lead at this point.
Yeah.
It's going back to that first play, the pick that we thought was going to be a pick 6, and then Doy knocked it away, and it was recovered back by the quarterback. Running straight ahead, just shy of the 40-yard line, is Bechtel, who's gotten a number of carries here today. Shore made the stop. Bechtel's tough run up the middle, just shy of the 40-yard line. It's down at the 39, and a 3rd and 6 for the Wildcats, who were 4 of 6 on 3rd downs in the first half. They need a conversion here.
Might see number 9 take off and run with it here.
Carroll's had success running the football tonight. They're going to give it to Bechtel, who's getting a push, and he has the first down. What a run by Bechtel. He gets 8 yards and a 1-800 got junk first down. That was a huge 3rd down run by Bechtel to give them a first down.
That was a great job by Halifax offensive line with the push, and even in Bechtel's 2nd and 3rd effort, outstanding.
1:55 clock rolling here in the third quarter. Halifax has been in the red zone a couple of times, unable to get points. They missed a 31-yard field goal, and then they had it right the end of the first half, but weren't able to get it in the end zone. Quarterback sneak, good call, Carroll. You wanted to see more running by Carroll, and they give it to him on a first down, and you can't beat that running play there by Carroll. Jack made the stop, a 7-yard run for Carroll.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Great call, first down, and again, you want to get positive yards on first and second down, and that was a great job by coaching staff there.
So now a 2nd and 3rd. You love these 2nd and 3s if you're an offensive play caller. Wildcats have been in Camp Hill territory a lot tonight. And there's a penalty marker.
Early movement.
Pre-snap penalties have to drive coaches crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
Pre-snap penalty on Halifax will move them back. So now that 2nd and 3 and manageable all of a sudden comes a little bit longer for the Wildcats. Thomas is the one that brings the play in to Carroll. And we said it before, a lot of young players, a lot of young talent on this Wildcats team. So Coach Wall in his 2nd season at Halifax. Last year they won 3 or 4 games quite early a year ago. Handoff Bechtel up the middle. He 2nd effort, pushes ahead, gives them enough for a 1st down. We're very close to it. What a great 2nd effort by Bechtel. Looked like he was stopped at the 45 and pushes his way to the 46. He is 1 yard short of the 1st. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, it was, again, outstanding job. Offensive line does a great, makes a great hole. And Bechtel, man, he's a tough, hard-nosed downhill runner.
Last season, Halifax started the season 3-1. They got off to a 3-1 start a year ago, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter is coming up with a big 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats in a 1-score game. Camp Hill leads it 7-0. Big 3rd and 1 for Halifax to start this 4th quarter as they trail 7-0. 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats from the 44-yard line. Quarterback keeper as Carroll tries to push his way forward and doesn't even get a yard. Back to the line of scrimmage, so 4th and 1. Kelly was there to make sure he didn't get any further. There's a look at big number 56, pushing him back.
Yeah, it was all started by the nose guard. He did a heck of a job. Center couldn't get any push after he snapped the ball, and Kelly made a great play for Camp Hill.
Kelly's been big from the defensive end spot, and so has Long. The bookends of the defensive ends have been great. And we see Luke back from his injury back there. It was good to see him. He was down the last series for the defense for Camp Hill, but he's back out on the field. 4th and 1. Big 4th and 1. Again, the quarterback keeper up the middle. Carroll pushing the line, and he has enough for the first time this time. Tegan Carroll, good 2nd effort, and a big 4th down conversion for Halifax.
Huge 4th down. Watch the running back here late come up and also help push the power, or I should say the run number 70 for Halifax. But what a great job by Tegan Carroll in pumping his legs.
75, Elijah Paul, the center. He's done a good job tonight. They just moved him to the center position tonight. As I said, Coach Wall kind of reworked this offensive line from the last couple of weeks. It's made a difference the way the offensive line has played tonight. Handoff for Bechtel. Bechtel gets hit as he crosses the 40 to the 39-yard line. And he was hit by Kelly. Kelly's been all over the place tonight. Kelly came in with 22 tackles. He's got to have 8 or 9 stops tonight. Doy was in there as well early.
Bechtel's hard, man. He's a hard runner. He very rarely have you seen him getting brought down by one defender.
Bechtel stands at 5'11", 210-pound junior. Came into this game with 33 carries for 80 yards. He doesn't look like a back that's only run for 80 yards this season tonight. He has been good. Second down, here Camp Hill showing some pressure. Carroll's going to keep it himself. Carroll makes a man miss and then leaps over a man, and a penalty marker comes down. A bunch of penalties come down as he leaps his way to the 28-yard line. So not only does he possess straight arms, he also has the leaping ability. Bender was the one that stopped him. So let's see what this officiating crew comes up with.
Personal foul. Offense number 9.
So personal foul on Tegan Carroll on the leap. So there he goes, and he tries to leap Jack Bender, number 2, and called for the personal foul. Carroll, 12 rushing attempts, 27 yards. Penalty moves them back. So that was a big penalty.
Huge penalty, because that was a great run by him, and you know, put them first down, put him, you know, moving the chains, and now it brings them back. Better field position. Now it's going to be second and long.
Fourth quarter, 9:40 to go, clock rolling. 7-0 game. Camp Hill leads by a touchdown. Here comes a screen pass set up to Sega. Sega loses a yard. So the screen pass does not work. Does not work for the Wildcats.
Now Camp Hill was all over it. Did a great job of kind of seeking it out early and making the play.
Grove was there. There's Owen Grove, the sophomore. He came into this game with 31 tackles and 3 tackles for a loss. This linebacker core, a little inexperienced. 2 of the 3 guys are first-year starters. Their linebacker coach, Tig Spinoli, has done a great job coaching these guys up. You have the younger players starting at linebacker for the first time for Camp Hill. Linebackers are going to have to come up big on this 3rd and 13 with 8:40 to go. Clock rolling here in the fourth quarter. Oh boy, didn't know the snap was coming. Carroll tries to fall on the football, and that's a mistake you cannot have. The snap came back. No one was ready for it, and Halifax is very fortunate just to fall on it at the 40-yard line. Here's another look, Chris.
Yeah, it was definitely longer. There was some confusion with the receivers getting lined up, and the center probably wasn't sure if he started his cadence yet or not. Unfortunately, those are things that you try to prevent.
So Halifax will punt the football, and they just get this one off. Some heavy pressure and not a good punt at all. So Camp Hill will have good field position with a 7-0 lead here with 7:51 to go in the fourth quarter. Only 11-yard punt for Halifax. So good field position for Camp Hill. Let's get back to that story I promised about Coach Bigelow. It was 2017. It was Thursday, the day before the start of the season. They were set to play Palmyra. He was teaching. He gets a phone call at 1 o'clock in his classroom and finds out that Frank Gay has resigned as the coach. And they said, "You're the interim coach." And ever since, Tim Bigelow has been there now for his 8th season.
Wild.
And he was an 11-year assistant coach with Frank Gay, so he was, you know, also a former quarterback himself. So that's a fumble. That's a fumble. Lucky to fall on it was M.A. was able to fall on the football as the ball dropped it. Syringi was able to fall on that football, but a loss of 5 yards, so now a 2nd and 15. So Halifax defense, who has been very good tonight, needs to be good again and get their offense the football back. 7:20 clock runs here in the 4th. Camp Hill, they want to try to put a drive together and punch it into the end zone and get out of Peters Mountain with a scare. That is Doy, direct snap to him, and he takes a hit near midfield. Knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 5-yard pickup by Doy. Carroll was the one that knocked him out. Pretty hard hit. 3rd and 10 coming up for Camp Hill. So this is a big 3rd down. They want to get the ball back to their offense. Camp Hill looking to stay pace with Line Mountain, who leads the Capital Division at 4-0. 4-1 overall. Everybody's chasing Line Mountain to be the top spot in the Mid-Penn Capital. Fans yelling for defense here on homecoming. Pass is incomplete by Doy, who's back in at quarterback. And Doy was trying to get the ball to Alex Long, but incomplete. And here comes a 4th down. So Camp Hill's offense sputting out here, having troubles in the 2nd half.
Yeah, they've almost kind of shifting. You know, every series here, it's been you know,
Doy and Luther.
Doy and Luther. It almost looked like Alex Long fell down there. I'm not sure, unless the ball was maybe thrown behind him.
So Alex Long will be the punter here on this 4th down. Bechtel's back to receive the punt. Standing at his 15-yard line for Halifax. Long gets the punt off. Pretty good boot. Going to take a bounce and go into the end zone. So a touchback, and Halifax will have the football at the 20. 6:52 to go, 4th quarter. Down a touchdown. Coming up tomorrow, Big Ten football on CBS 21 at that 3:30 time slot. It's Wisconsin. They are in the West Coast to play USC. USC lost to Michigan last week. Can they bounce back at home against the Badgers? We'll find out. And then a doubleheader on CBS 21, the NFL on Sunday. The Steelers will look to stay undefeated. And it's Kansas City and the Chargers at 4:25. It all starts at noon with the NFL Today in New York. There's Tegan Carroll, the quarterback of Halifax, who's been good tonight. Needs a drive to try to tie this football game up. Bechtel with the call. Or Miller, excuse me, gets the run, and Shore makes the stop. So the freshman, Eli Miller, who's had a couple of carries, gets no gain. 2nd and 10. Thomas has made a couple of big catches from Carroll in that 1st half. Maybe that's something they could go back to. Second and 10 for Halifax, 6:15 clock running, 4th quarter. Carroll to pass, incomplete. Was looking for Miller out of the backfield and threw it short. 3rd down. So just when you need something to happen offensively, Wildcats need something going on. And they've been good on 3rd downs tonight. So here's a 3rd and 10. Let's see if they can come up, dial up a good play. Camp Hill, there's a look at Michael Kelly, who's been all over the field tonight. He's had a huge game from his defensive end spot. So a 3rd and 10. Ball on the 20-yard line. Here's a little trickery, a little reverse. Bechtel on the reverse, running downfield. And a penalty marker comes out late, so they needed some spark, and they call a reverse to Bechtel. And he gets 10 yards, but we'll have to wait on the penalty. Penalties on Halifax.
They call it blindside block.
I think so.
Yeah.
Take a look at the blindside block.
Number 11 on 56 right there.
Yep. Blocking Kelly was a deal. Blocking Kelly for the penalty. So Coach Wall is going to need another play. Calls the reverse there. Would have gotten the 10 yards he needed. Thomas, 2 catches, 35 yards. Tonight has had 2 big catches in big situations in the first half. So watch out for number 7, the sophomore. So this is going to be tough. Going to move them all the way back. Down to the 8-yard line and 3rd and a mile. Got to be careful here.
Yep, very careful. And you don't have many 3rd and 20.
No.
3rd and 25 calls in your playbook.
Let's see what the Wildcats do. Ball inside the 10-yard line or their own 10-yard line for them. See Kelly there, 56, ready to come crashing in from his defensive end spot. Long comes quick. Passes in and out of the hands of the receiver, Miller, and a penalty is down, and that's going to be interference on M.A.
I believe there's also a late hit on the quarterback in the end zone here. Let's see.
There could be two penalties possibly. Personal foul coming on the quarterback being hit. And there is a look at Syringi. The play was guarding Miller on the pass play. Miller out of the backfield. We've got 2 penalties coming up. Let's see what they both are.
It's number personal foul. Defense number 50.
So those penalties offset, so you'll replay the down.
They call it illegal man downfield.
There's that pass play trying to get it to Miller. So Halifax, a tough spot. 5:37 to go, 4th quarter. Carroll standing on his 3-yard line. Gets rid of it downfield, has a man, and what a catch. Wow, Bechtel comes down with a catch. Penalty marker comes out all the way down to the 34-yard line. And that'll be enough for a first down. They needed a bunch, and they got 28 yards in the pass play. Carroll Bechtel will have to wait for the penalty marker. That was a huge play by the Halifax Wildcats. And that'll be on Camp Hill. Wow. Wow. You said they didn't have a 4th and 25 play. Well, I guess there it is. That's the play they're going to call. There it is. Carroll to Bechtel for 28 yards and a first down, and you tack on penalty yards on top of that.
Carroll made that throw while he's getting tackled too. What a heck of a throw.
There's a look at Coach Bigelow on the sidelines for Camp Hill. Can't be happy about that. Kitchen saver first down, and the Wildcats have the football now at their own 49.
New life.
5:22 to go, 4th quarter, down just 1 score. Looking for their first win of the season. Carroll's going to run it. Good positive yards across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Picks up 7 or 8 yards on that keeper. Himes made the stop.
Keep giving it to him and Bechtel.
So a 2nd and 2 now for Halifax. Our only touchdown was all the way back early in this first half. It was a 3-yard touchdown run by Zadar. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. That's been the only touchdown of the night here on week 6 of Friday Night Rivals. Straight ahead up to the 40-yard line will be enough for a first down. Bechtel has the first down. So you like this combination, Bechtel and Carroll running the football. Doy made the stop.
Absolutely. I would be giving it alternating back and forth between both of them.
Got to it to the 41-yard line, but it is a kitchen saver first down. 4:15 to go, clock running. Halifax next week at Susquehanna. Camp Hill has Upper Dolphin next week. Mid-Penn Capital games the rest of the way. These teams chasing Lime Mountain, who stands atop the Capital Division. That's Carroll across the 40 to the 39-yard line. That first down run. Mulsevich made the stop. Camp Hill has 4 penalties for 35 yards tonight. Second down for the Wildcats. Not looking like an 0-5 team tonight here on homecoming.
Absolutely not. They're in this. In great position with almost 3 minutes to go in the game.
Carroll from the shotgun. Here comes Long chasing him. Has to get rid of it. Long was chasing him from his defensive end spot. Didn't give Carroll a lot of options. He just tried to pitch it forward. It was Carroll, Long, and Kelly, those 2 defensive ends that have caused all kinds of trouble tonight for Carroll. Tonight, when Carroll's sleeping, he's gonna have nightmares about 56 and 9.
Yeah,
Kelly and Long have been all over.
They've been in the backfield almost all night, wrecking havoc on the defensive line and on Teague and Carroll.
Combined 26 attempts between Carroll and Bechtel running the football tonight.
Big third down, huge third down coming up.
So here we go, third down, 3rd and 8. Takes a shot.
Oh, is it going to be a...
You would think there'd be pass interference on that, but no call. Osanga was the intended target, number 10. And down there on coverage was Bender, number 2 for Camp Hill. Here's another look.
Oh, he's out of bounds. Yep. That might have been why they didn't throw the flag, because he ran out of bounds.
Jack Bender on coverage, the senior for the Lions. Now 4th down. 4th down, 3:04 to go in the 4th quarter. Don't forget the catch of the game will be coming up. We have that brought to you by the United States Marines. Stay tuned for the United States Marines catch of the game, as well as the Friday Night Rivals trophy presentation. 4th down. Carroll firing. Ball is intercepted. Picked off by Ziegler. So Ziegler has the interception. Was trying to get the ball to Thomas, who had those 2 big catches in the first half, but Ziegler comes up and makes the grab. Let's take a look at our catch of the game, brought to you by the United States Marines, a collective purpose, an effective mission. And here is our catch of the game tonight. That's a beautiful one-handed catch right there by Serenji. M.A., the former guard on the offensive line, now the fullback, with our catch of the game brought to you by the United States Marines. The one-hander was a nice one. And Serdar with the carry and gets back to the line of scrimmage for a 2nd down, and now Halifax is going to have to use some timeouts to stop the clock. We'll step aside as well. The Wildcats need the ball back. Second down for Camp Hill. They want to keep the football and run the clock out and just get on that bus and slide right down Peters Mountain and escape a scary game here tonight. Handoff up the middle, gets a yard or two, so now a third down coming up. So that was Syringi. Hoover made the stop. After a couple yards, let's take a look at the play of the game brought to you by Beef. It's what's for dinner. This play, the first quarter, the interception, and then Doy stripped it out, and Luther was there to fall on it. So he threw the interception, the sophomore quarterback making his first start, and was able to, thanks to Doy, who knocked it out, was able to get the ball back for his team, and then they drove down the field and scored the only touchdown of the game. There's your play of the game, brought to you by Beef. It's what's for dinner. That was a strange play.
Yep.
The sophomore went through a lot of emotions. There he threw one of his early passes. It gets picked off. It looked like it could possibly be a pick six. And then Doy comes out, strips it, and Luther was right there to fall on it. Luther 4 of 8, 75 yards passing. Doy 2 of 5, 22 yards passing. This is Doy running the football. Dives forward, short of the first down by about a yard and a half. So fourth down coming up. Oh, the spot, they're going to give him the first. So a good spot by the officials, and Doy dove. Take a look at him diving. Carroll was the one that made the stop. They're going to give him a first down on that. Generous spot.
Generous spot for sure.
Ball's on the 33-yard lines, and that moves the sticks. 2:37 to go. Camp Hill trying to run the clock out and run out of here.
His knee's down.
Doy's knee was down when he got the snap. The clock runs. The Wildcats, they have one more timeout. Camp Hill has 3 timeouts. So Doy was marked down when the snap came back. And the clock is now stopped. Get a new ball out there. Wet night tonight. Some heavy drizzle before the game, and then just kind of a mist throughout the game here tonight. Coach Wall wants to see maybe some more time onto the clock, as he wants more time. So they're going to put 2:30 back on the clock. So they'll reset the clock here. 2:30 to go, fourth quarter. 2nd and 15 for Camp Hill. Long has 4 catches, 87 yards. Syringi, 10 carries, 40 yards. Sadar, 9 carries, 32 yards, and the touchdown. Camp Hill offensive stats for the Lions, who are trying to get out of here with a win. Straight ahead goes Serdar. Halifax needs the football back. Serdar gets 5 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. And now a 3rd and 10 coming up. Bechtel made the stop.
Third down.
So 3rd and 10. So at this point you have 1 timeout, Chris. Clock management is a factor for Halifax.
Yep, this is a huge 3rd down in the football game. If they don't get it.
Do you use your timeout if you stop them here at this point?
Yeah, I think you got to, but they're gonna, they're gonna take the clock down even further.
So 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Doy, direct snap to him, makes a man miss. Doy gets the first down. Doy gets 11 yards on the run. Brister was the one that ran him out of bounds. Kitchen saved for first down. That was a huge run by Doy. He broke one tackle there and then ran by another, broke another tackle. 2 broken tackles and was able to get that 11 yards that he needed.
And that should seal the victory. Because Halifax only has 1 timeout.
Halifax with 1 timeout, down 7-0 to this Camp Hill Lions team, who's looking to bounce back against Judiana. Their goal tonight was to score 42 points.
Came up a little short.
They scored 7.
Stay in bounds.
Doy is running it, direct snap to him, and one thing that Doy wants to do is not drop and fumble the football. Halifax takes their final timeout. We'll be back right after this. The Wildcats are all out of timeouts, so Camp Hill can just run this clock out with 1:09 to go. Doy takes the snap and takes the knee. So Camp Hill is going to survive a scare tonight. They're going to go to 4-2 on the season. They have Upper Dolphin next week, and then at Steel High, and then home against Lime Mountain, and then they finish the season at James Buchanan. So that game in week 9 is going to be a big one for them. Lime Mountain, who leads the Mid-Penn Capital. Halifax 0-6. They'll go to try to get their first win of the season next week at Susquehanna, and then they're home against a winless Newport team, and then at Judiana and Bowling Springs for their rest of the season. So that's going to do it. Camp Hill is going to get the win tonight. Final 7-0. Coach Bigelow, not exactly what he was thinking coming up here, but he'll take the W and bounce back from the loss. Judiana last week gets the 7-0 win over Halifax. Other games in the Mid-Penn Capital, Lime Mountain and Steel High. Steel High is beating Lime Mountain tonight, so that really would open things up. So the final tonight, Camp Hill 7, Halifax 0. You're watching the Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. Camp Hill, they survive. Homecoming night here at Halifax, 7-0. It holds up. The one touchdown by Sadar. 3-yard touchdown holds up. Time now for our player of the game, powered by Milk and the Allied Milk producers. And it is Alex Long, who was very tough defensively from his defensive end position, and offensively really could catch the football. He had 4 catches, 87 yards for Long, as he is our player of the game, brought to you and powered by Milk. Doing it on both defense and offense for the 6'3", 210-pound senior. Camp Hill, they get the win and move to 4-2 on the season. Next week, take on Upper Dolphin and then Steel High and Lime Mountain. So big games coming up for Camp Hill. Halifax will try to get their first win in the next 2 weeks at Susquehanna and then at home against Newport in 2 weeks. But this thing was a battle tonight, Chris.
Yeah, you touched on it. Alex Long was him and Kelly, number 56, on defense were in the backfield almost the entire game, and did just enough on offense to get the win.
Just enough, that one touchdown. Coming up next week, we'll be in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division, Susquehanna Township at East Pennsboro. Should be a good one there between those two teams. Looking forward to it. East Pennsboro tonight at West Perry, and Susquehanna Township facing Middletown tonight. But we'll have those teams next week, Susquehanna Township and East Pennsboro, week number 7 of Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics Friday Night Rivals. So that should be a very interesting game for sure next week. CBS 21 would like to take a moment to thank the Wellspan Urgent Orthopedics who made these games possible for the viewers at home. We'd like to thank them for supporting these fine athletes. And all of the members and sponsors on this screen make it happen to bring you these great athletes each and every Friday for Friday Night Rivals. We would like to thank each and every one of them, as well as Halifax and Camp Hill teams, athletic directors, coaches, administrators, and athletes. To watch this game anytime, anywhere, along with Friday Night Rivals schedule and more content, check out CBS21.com and watch the YouTube channel, the CBS 21 YouTube channel, to rewatch this game, maybe on your way home. Friday Night Rivals is a production of the Sports Fever Television Network. For our spotter, Kevin Huddy, thanks to Matt Bukovic on stats, and my partner, Chris Thompson, and the entire Friday Night Rivals production crew. I'm Phil Shaner saying good night and see you next week for another edition of Friday Night Rivals, the final, Camp Hill 7, Halifax 0.